Hello, and what is up, everybody? It's me, Marty the Meatman here, your host of Cross Court Coverage, your All-NBA Celtics-focused podcast, proudly brought to you by, proudly partnered with Boston Sports Zone Network. Check out Boston Sports Zone. 4 pillars: Bruins, Celtics, Red Sox, and the Patriots, all covered on the network. We're holding up the pillar for the NBA. We're your representation for the Celtics, but check out all the other pods, articles, and posts on social media. You can follow at SportsZone_boss. It's Boston Sports Zone on YouTube. If you're watching it here on YouTube, what up? Next up, we also have to shout out our good friend of the pod, partner of the pod, LongShotsUSA.com. That is LongShotsUSA.com. If you or your friends or anyone you know likes to party, likes to have a good time, and you like to do it, with people, you don't want to just be by yourself or have your own drink, why not rip a shot ski? Why not, get everyone involved in one shot? That's a fun way to, have a good time. So check out LongShotsUSA.com. Handcrafted, owner, operator, single guy, doing it all. Really quality stuff. So check them out. Sell them that Cross Court sent you. Who knows? Who knows what'll happen? And then last but certainly not least, we have to shout out the merch store. It is cross-court-coverage-shop.fourthwall.com. You can go there. Let me pull it up. You can go there and you see our lovely little homepage. You can click in and explore the collection. We have stickers, mugs, shirts, hoodies, hats galore. So, be sure to check that out. Like I always say, it's not about trying to turn a profit or trying to make any money off of this. I really just want to use people as walking billboards and represent the show. So if you want to grab a shirt or something, that'd be much appreciated. No obligation to do so at all. But we've paid the bills. We've covered all our bases. And ladies and gentlemen, we are in the tail end of the season. We're in March. The tail end of March, too. Madness, the brackets, all that already going. NCAA going crazy. But don't worry, the NBA's got its own little madness going on as well. And we got a lot of news and headlines to talk about around the league and also about our Boston Celtics team. So I've been delaying enough. Let's get into it. First and foremost, I want to talk about the man, the myth, the legend that is custody battle Luka Doncic. Luka is on fire right now. And look, I make a joke that it's custody battle Luka. Unfortunately, him and his partner split up. There's a custody battle literally going on around, his children in Slovenia and California and all this nonsense. And I'm not going to get into that and the tabloid of it all. Family court sucks. Court sucks. But what's happening in the court system is translating to a pissed off and on fire Luka Doncic on court. See how I made that court parallel? Cross court. Oh, there we go. But since March the 6th, Luka has averaged 39.2 points, 8.3 rebounds, and 7.3 assists a game. He put a 60 burger in there. The Lakers are 9-1 in that stretch. And it is MVP level Luka, like the Lakers have always, wanted, have always, this was the prince that was promised. You traded AD and, you fleeced Nico, but Luka's been great. But this is elite Luka. This is, going to the conference finals Luka. Can he keep it at this clip? I don't know. Does it have to stay, if the court case gets resolved, does this fall off and he's no longer pissed off? I don't know. But I'm not a Laker fan by any way, shape, or form. It's Boston till I die. It's fuck LA till I die. But I have a soft spot in my heart for Luka Doncic. I'll admit it. He's a fantastic hooper. I like the guy. He's super talented. He plays the game at his own pace. and is really just a one-man machine. And we've been seeing that Luka as of late. And it's a hell of a thing. I mean, like, what do we got? Points totals 44, 35, 31, 51, 30, 36, 40, 60, 33, 32. Like, just popping off in the last 2-3 weeks. Absolutely going bananas. And while Luka's going nuclear and carrying his team in Milwaukee, they're trying to shut down their superstar. So transitioning to the next headline, Giannis Antetokounmpo versus the Bucks. This has been a soap opera of drama and ups and downs and woe is they and woe is he and he said, she said, and what is going on with Milwaukee and Giannis and everything. Like, we talked about it last week. He has a hyperextension in his knee, and he's definitely feeling, banged up from that, but he's feeling like he can play. The Bucks are telling him they want to shut it down. They want to, completely like end it. They don't see the playoffs in their future. Might as well shut it down. Make Giannis sit for the rest of the season. They fall in the standings. Maybe they get a lottery pick. I don't know. Giannis is like, no, I'm here. I'm healthy. I feel like I can play. I don't want to be shut down. And whether that's pride or actually thinking that he can carry this team to the play-in, I don't know. I mean, the Bucks currently sit at what? They're 11th in the Eastern Conference, so the play-in is still available. But the team is telling the guy, this is reported, they've had conversations back and forth between Giannis and the team, and there is a huge disagreement on what is supposed to be. This is no longer just injury management. This is now a control battle because, like we talked about earlier in the season, Giannis wanted out. And then they couldn't find a trade partner but by the deadline or a package that they liked enough, so they kept Giannis. And then Giannis said, I'm all in. I never wanted to leave. Now Giannis has this injury, and he wants to play, and he feels fine. And what it feels like to me is, one, they want to, tank their odds and get a better lottery pick. But two, they want to also keep the value of what Giannis is. You can't trade a truly injured Giannis Antetokounmpo. You can't try and sell high on Giannis if he's damaged goods. So the Bucks are trying to look at all their options and see the different pathways of what the next offseason and what their future looks like. And Giannis is having none of it. And it gets a level deeper because the NBA Players Association has now jumped in and spoken out in favor of Giannis and basically saying that if a star is healthy, he should be playing, which is also what the NBA ruled during the player participation policy. The whole thing is, if a star player is healthy and you're telling them that they're not healthy, then you're going to get fined. Now, of course, the NBA and Adam Silver haven't said anything about this. They haven't hit them with the player participation policy or fine them any money because it's an arbitrary rule where they decide we don't want to penalize the Bucks because they Giannis used to be quote unquote a face of the league and he sells tickets and he sells merch and it's fine. We won't penalize you guys. You've made us enough money. But if it happens on the Pacers who are trying to get the number one pick, we're going to fine them $100,000. Or if it happens on the Kings, we're going to fine them $100,000. So the NBA mum's the word from them. But the Players Association is calling it out. Giannis is calling it out. And it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because I've never really seen a situation where a team is like, no, you're shut down. And the guy's like, no, let me play. Let me go out there. And it's usually vice versa. Like with Kawhi, when this happened, Kawhi was like, no, I'm not healthy. And they're like, no, the doctors say you're healthy. This is the whole opposite thing. So I don't really know who wins or how you win in this situation. It's definitely putting more of a strain on their relationship. I don't see Giannis with the Bucks long term. I already didn't coming to this offseason and coming up to, what we can foresee in the future. We've heard the Rockets are going to make a big play. We hear the Knicks constantly. We'll see what the offseason brings. But this has to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. There's no way that Giannis stays in Milwaukee for the rest of his career. There's no way that Giannis stays in Milwaukee by the time the season ends. Like, I feel like he's going to try and get the hell out of there, especially with the way they're handling this and the arguments that are being had and everything like that. So it's ugly. It's very ugly, and it's like, not my kid, not my problem. I don't really have, a dog in the race, but it's hilarious to sit back and watch this all unfold because, like I said, I have no stake in the game. I don't care. I don't care if Giannis is upset. I don't care if the Bucks are bad. It's just bizarro. It's banana lands to me to watch this from afar. But when we're talking about policy, when we're talking about rules, there is a common theme here because another rule has been coming under scrutiny a lot lately, and specifically after a certain player got injured, it's really up for debate. So, long-winded segue to get into, first and foremost, Cade Cunningham is out indefinitely with a collapsed lung. Terrible injury, terrible situation. I mean, he's on an MVP tear. He's having a great season. He's having a career season. And, it was just a bang-bang play. He got tripped up. He fell straight on his chest and was instantly grimacing in pain. No one knows what happened until we got, the scans back and got the report. But a collapsed lung is something that, you have to rest. You have to rehab. You're going to miss time. Here's the question, though. The 65-game rule was created so that if you don't play 65, or if you play 65 games, you can be nominated for any award. If you play 64, it's irrelevant. Your season's moot. You can't be nominated as MVP or comeback player of the year or anything. And I, was a supporter for that. Let me turn the banner off. I don't know why that's still running. I was a supporter for that when it was first rolled out because obviously you have players like Joel Embiid or Kawhi or, LeBron when he was really load managing. Like, there was a lot of players who were load managing and still being in those conversations for rewards. But when you have a guy who has a serious injury, could be, I'm not saying it's career altering. I'm not saying it's life changing, but it's seriously going to affect his presence this season. And so for that to be happening and for them to be like, well, you've done so great and you played so many games and you've been so good for so long, but now it's gone. You can't be MVP. You can't be awarded anything. And it's not just about the award because obviously, like, if it's just an award, who cares? If there was just like $100,000 tied to it, who cares? Awards mean something in the structure of NBA contracts, and that's a whole nother thing. If you're not all NBA, then you can't get a Supermax contract. If you're not an MVP candidate, then, certain extensions aren't there for you. It really does hurt a player's ability to negotiate, not only their ability, but also their agent's ability to negotiate their next contract. So we're looking at this situation and going, okay, Cade's going to not be MVP because he's likely going to miss most of the rest of the season, if not the start of the playoffs. We don't really know the timetable, but it's foreseen that he's not going to hit 65 games now. It's a load of shit when you take a guy like that and in a situation like that and compare it to someone load managing, And so I'm with, the NBA collective in saying that the rules need to change. I mean, the NBA PA also got involved in this conversation, and they're calling for abolishment and or revision of the rule. I love that the NBA PA is, telling Adam Silver to stick it where, I'll keep it a kid-friendly show. But the rule clearly was made for the right reason, but it's not playing out correctly. You had a list of like the all NBA players, and people have been making jokes that Brendan Podozemski is going to be MVP because no one qualifies for the 65 games. I get it. It's funny to laugh at, but my issue with it is herein lies contract debates. Herein lies contract negotiations that are now going to fall through or be lesser for the player because of an arbitrary rule that they created for guys who weren't actually injured. And like I feel like the player participation policy more covers that. But again, that's another arbitrary rule that they choose to slap on or slap off to whatever team they do and don't want to hit it with. So Adam Silver can't get out of his own way with that one. It's shit. I think that Cade has a real case for MVP. I mean, so does Joker, who's I think 1 game away from being disqualified. So does SGA. I think he's fine. He only missed 2 weeks in that stint where he had that abdominal injury. So I don't think that his candidacy. Maybe they just don't want to give it to Cade again or to Shea again. Maybe that's why the NBA PA is speaking up. But another player that this affects, I mean, you could argue that he's not going for awards, but there's a chance he could have been in contention for most improved or, Moses Moody, who had a terrible knee injury last night. I don't know if you guys saw the footage. I'm not pulling it up. Basically, his knee went concave. For those who don't have a thesaurus, concave means inside out, essentially. It looked like, when you have like a lava cake and you poke the hole and then the chocolate falls down. That's what his knee looked like. It was terrifying. It was horrifying. It was one of those injuries that you don't want to watch again, and yet you keep looking at it like a car crash. Ends up being a torn patella tendon for Moses Moody. But the whole reason that I'm talking about this injury for him, because obviously that's a season-ending injury, he's had a great season for the Golden State Warriors. He has been someone that has stepped up with all the drama surrounding Kuminga, with all of the absences because of Jimmy Butler tearing his ACL. So this is another situation where a guy is now going to be docked an award or a possible, pay upgrade because he has a real serious injury, and this arbitrary rule is just going to take it away from them. The injuries are real. The injuries have a real impact, and that's what the point is that you shouldn't take away from players because they got hurt. And I've seen discourse all over Twitter, all over, news articles in the comment sections and everything. And everyone's like, oh, you only have to play 82 games and it's only 2,000 minutes of your life that you have to play in basketball. Dude, we can all say that from the couch with a bag of chips on our stomach and a beer in our hand. That's real easy to say, but injuries happen. These guys are playing at high pace, high speed, physical game. People will say the game's not as physical as it used to be. It's still a physical game. People get banged up, bounced around all the time. And so 82 games is hard to do. People are going to miss time with injuries. That is just the truth of the matter. The point of the rule was to rule against people load managing. And if you're healthy, like Giannis, you should be playing. I think the player participation policy covers that. Let's get rid of the 65 game rule cap, whatever you want to call it. It was good in theory, Adam Silver, but now we're seeing the ugly side of it. And I'm not a fan, and a lot of people aren't fans, except for the trolls on the internet who are like, oh, I could play 82 games. Sure, buddy. Sure. Sure. The next headline we have, Jalen Williams returning from injury. He's missed five or so, maybe more, weeks with his injury. There's 11 games left in the season. Everyone's calling it perfect timing for Jalen Williams to be returning to the Thunder. They've been doing so well without him, and now they're just getting a piece back. And if you can tell there's insincerity in my voice, that is because of something I will talk about later when we get to the Celtics. But everyone's like, this team was already dangerous. This team's already so good. Now you add a Supermax player into the mix. They're going to be unstoppable. Nobody wants to see them. The Thunder are the Thunder. We've seen them for the past 2-3 years. Yes, they are champions of last year. Congratulations to them. But we know what they are. And we know what they are with Jalen Williams. And yes, they're going to be better. And yes, they're going to have different rotations. And it'll be interesting to see what they do with Jared McCain and how they, manage AJ Mitchell minutes. And Lou Dort minutes and everything like that. Like, yes, that'll be interesting and fun and whoop-de-doo, let's go Thunder. But let's ease up on this makes them unstoppable. They're not truly unstoppable. They went 7 games against the Pacers last year to win the championship. I think a lot of teams this year are going to, the West built to compete against the Thunder. And I think the East did as well. And I think there are teams much more well suited to compete with them in this playoffs than they were last playoffs. So while Jalen Williams coming back for the Thunder is a huge add, it is a great thing for them. Thunder fans, I get it. I get the excitement. I'm sure you are thrilled. And I would be too if it was my team. But let's ease up on, okay, this guarantees them the championship. This guarantees the banner because let's just say, I'll get to it. Well, there's a point I want to make, but I got to connect it later. Speaking of the Thunder, just a fun little headline. AJ Mitchell and Julian or Justin, one of the Champagne brothers, both got a 1-game suspension for a kerfuffle, for a scuffle that they had during a game. Essentially, other Jalen Williams was standing at the baseline, and Champagne was looking to inbound the ball, and he kept shoulder checking Jalen Williams. And they didn't like that. So Jalen Williams turns around, starts jawing with him. And then AJ Mitchell comes over to back up his teammate. And Champagne gives him a quick little bap. Just bap, bap. Gives him a quick one. Not a 1-2. I don't know why I did 2 hands. He just gives him one. It's a quick across the face. Wasn't a punch, but basically a slap. AJ Mitchell respectfully gets pissed off and shoves him into the crowd. And then there's a quote-unquote brawl that breaks out. I hate when people say brawls these days. Give me Malice in the Palace if you're going to call it a brawl. Let's just be real. Give me Malice in the Palace. Let's get beers flying. Let's get fans involved. Obviously, I don't want that. That's terrible. It was a bad thing that happened. But if you're going to call it a brawl, it better be a brawl. It better be a knockdown, drag-out fight. This was a screaming and yelling and pushing match. And for that, they get a 1-game suspension each. I think they already both served it. In the long run of the NBA, it doesn't mean anything. But we love little fun, heated moments. Why not? Next headline, the salary cap has an update, and it's not good. The league is projecting that the salary cap next year will be $165 million. That is the cap. That is the no first apron, no second apron. That is the hard cap line. Obviously, we have the aprons, so people will be above that. But it does make a difference because it's down $1 million. Instead of going up like it normally does, we are finally seeing the cap drop down $1 million. And we in Celtics Nation, we Celtics fans know what a restrictive cap can mean. A lot of people, a lot of teams are, hey, get ready to learn second apron, buddy. A lot of teams could be seeing some mid-level guys who, deserve a pay upgrade, walking in free agency. And I don't know where the money is in this league because the Nets were the only team with cap space in this offseason. Most teams have their core locked up for a long time. So it's going to be interesting to see all the navigation and cap maneuvering and everything that everyone has to do to get around the first or second apron this year, especially after watching the Celtics have to blow it up last year in the offseason. There's a few teams that I don't think this year will have to blow it up, but they're getting close. Like the Knicks, I don't know necessarily what the timeline is on everyone's contract, but you're paying Jalen Brunson a whole bunch of money. You're paying Cat a whole bunch of money. You're paying McCall a whole bunch of money. Josh Hart has a decent contract. It adds up. And, you don't think anything of it. And you're like, oh, we're going to lose a depth guy here. Oh, we lost an eighth man, whatever. It adds up. And it slowly starts to erode at the bottom and starts to take away your depth. And I'm just warning everybody because I just watched it happen with the Celtics. This is not a good thing that the salary cap did not go up and actually went down $1 million. And again, $1 million in the long scheme of things doesn't mean a lot, but it's going to be a deciding factor in a couple key free agency battles or signings. We'll just have to wait and see when the offseason comes and how it all, plays out. The next headline is a giant head scratcher. I think it plays into the Giannis episode, the Chronicles of Giannis over in Milwaukee. The Bucks waive Cam Thomas. So they signed him and hyped him up, and they're like, oh, they compared him to Lou Williams, they compared him to Jamal Crawford, and then like a week, maybe 2 weeks later, they cut him. And it's just like, okay, well, if you're Giannis, how much confidence do you have in this front office? Like, why are we cutting Cam Thomas? Is it because you want to lower your stocks and, go for a lottery pick, and you think that I'm going to sit out, so you're going to cut someone who could possibly help us win games? That's fucked. 2, it's fucked because it is a post-March 1st cut. Therefore, even if any team can pick up Cam Thomas once he clears waivers. He'll be a free agent. But he can't play in the playoffs because he's post-March 1st. So, no contender's going to look at him. So, like, what is any team who's just, like, meddling going to, like, gain from signing Cam Thomas for the rest of the season? Not much. Like, if the Bucks are cutting him because they're trying to lose games, other teams who are trying to lose games aren't going to sign him. So is he going to go from, what, he got cut 2 days ago or today? You're going to go from March 23rd, 24th to the end of the season, not on a team? It sucks. It's a shitty situation. The Bucks suck. They're treating their players very bizarrely and really shittily. And it's just a messy, ugly front office. And, like, I don't know. If I'm Giannis, I have no confidence. But speaking of a messy and shitty front office, we do have to talk about Kawhi Leonard. Because as we've progressed through the season, the whole aspiration and, no-show job and all this fugazi money and fake contract negotiations and all this stuff has, like, gone under the radar. Like, everyone's been like, what's going on with Kawhi? What's happening to the Clippers? And they're not talking about it. And now there's a growing belief that the NBA could void Kawhi's contract. If illegal recruitment is proven by the NBA, by a court of law, by anyone, they're basically getting the death penalty. And it is going to just Control-Alt-Delete, take Kawhi right off their books, make him an instant free agent, no guaranteed money back to Kawhi, no, long-term contract for Kawhi on the Clippers. It would shake up the league. It would be one of those things where, you go from having a superstar, a two-time champion, being on a team and everyone understanding, okay, he's a Clipper, this is where he's going to be, unless there's a massive trade and all this stuff. If he gets cut by the NBA and is just a free agent and can go wherever he wants, that is going to just blow the doors off of everyone's plans for the offseason. Like, that is going to be the number one recruit, the number one target for 28 of 30 teams probably. I'll rule out the Jazz and the Brooklyn Nets, but I think everyone else is going to try and take a run at Kawhi if he becomes a free agent. So that's crazy. It really would be like the first time we've seen a death penalty style jurisdiction come down from the NBA, besides the time that they vetoed the Chris Paul trade to the Lakers. This would be Adam Silver's moment to pull a David Stern. And God damn it, like, do we need another reason to be annoyed with Adam Silver? No. But will he give us plenty more besides this? Hell yeah. So there's a lot of pressure. It's a pressure cooker. It's literally just, you see it rattling on the stove. But the second you open that thing up, kerplow. Like, steam, smoke, shit everywhere. And I think that once the regular season is over, we might get a ruling depending on if the Clippers are in like a real like they're a play-in team. Let's say they're in the play-in and they get bounced. I think the day after they get bounced from the playoffs, this is when we're going to find out about Kawhi. Call me crazy, but that's usually how the NBA operates. They'll sweep something under the rug until there's no rug anymore. You know, they can hide it under, oh, we got the season going on. Oh, the Clippers are playing basketball. We don't want to disrupt what's going on. The second they don't have a game scheduled is going to be the day that they tell you what they've decided with the Kawhi situation. So we're obviously keeping eyes on that. We're obviously keeping our ear to the ground, listening for any rumblings. But like I said, the growing consensus is that they could just void his contract and it'll change the whole landscape of the NBA, truly. Because you're going to have people shedding cap, trading players, looking to get a pocket where they can put Kawhi on their team. And it's going to be a few teams that really go all in if he is just an unrestricted free agent. So we'll see how that plays out. Speaking of things playing out, another attempt at a segue, right? Speaking of things playing out, I want to transition now to the Boston Celtics. This team right here. Paul Pierce's old team. All the things around me. What is wrong? This is a great way to start it. What the hell is wrong with y'all? And by y'all, I mean the doomsdayers, the media, idiots in general. Jason Tatum missed 298 days of NBA play because he had a torn Achilles. And yet he's under fire for being quote-unquote terrible in 9 games back. First off, not terrible. Playing pretty well for such a substantial injury. Second off, who the fuck are you to start criticizing Jason Tatum and the fact that Joe Mazzulla is easing him into the offense and they're using him as a second option and he's being used in pick and rolls and yada yitza. I've heard it all. I've heard all the complaints. Oh, Tatum's washed. He's just a role player now. Shut the fuck up. Like, for real, shut the fuck up. Nobody wants to hear it. No one wants your I want to be a hot take on the internet. No one wants to hear it. The guy is literally actively rehabbing an injury. I want to give flowers where flowers are due. Shout out to Nola Dalzell of Celtics blog. She wrote an amazing piece. She talked to Jason. She asked him about, how he's feeling in this situation. Basically being like, are you giving yourself grace? Like, you're coming back from a terrible injury. So shout out to Noah. The quote from Jason in response to that is, it's tough in the moment, right? You try not to think about it. You just want to be Jason Tatum and feel like yourself again. I'm not Superman, so it's obviously going to take some time. I think the next day I can give myself a little more grace over certain things. But in the moment, it's frustrating. No shit. Like, I get it. Noah gets it. There's a good collective of people who understand Jason Tatum is doing something unheard of. He's come back from a torn Achilles in 10 months. Is he the fastest player to ever come back from a torn Achilles? No. But the people who tore their Achilles last year, Dame Lillard, still out for the season, will be out for the season. Tyrese Halliburton, out for the season, not coming back. DeJounte Murray took 13 months to come back, so his timetable is 3 months post where Tatum is right now. So let's be real. Like, let's be honest with ourselves when we're trying to criticize, Jason Tatum's shot percentages or Jason Tatum's, like, the way he's, not conditioned, or, like, let's be so fucking for real right now. Stop dunking on Jason Tatum for being the guy that he is, for being someone who came back from a horrendous injury and is giving it his all. And we are actively, I said it, I think a week ago, I said it 2 weeks ago when he came back, we are actively watching rust fall off of this guy. We are watching him come back into true form. And I've also said it about when Jared McCain got traded. Sometimes it takes a year or an extended period of time for the guys to get the mental fully back, but they can still like physically do what they need to do. Whatever it may be, however long it may be, Jason has all the grace from me and the true fans out there who give a damn about the person and the player. Because, god damn it, like, who are we to sit back and be like, oh, he's washed, he's not who he used to be. Meanwhile, he's putting up 20 points here, 15 points here, 25 points here. Like, yeah, he hasn't broken off a giant 40 piece or a 50 piece yet. Okay. He hasn't triple doubled yet. Okay. He's still getting double doubles. He's a beast on the defensive boards. He's been facilitating. He is a positive aspect on the floor, regardless of how you look at it. And the conversation around him right now is fucking ridiculous. Like, utterly fucking ridiculous. And I want to give flowers, like I said, where flowers are due. Noah did a great article basically saying the same stuff that I'm saying, but in a way more articulate and way better made point than I am. So check out her article on CelticsBlog.com. Let's be real, guys. Like, let's just be real and take it for what it is. The excitement and the joy that the Thunder are having for Jalen Williams coming back, and the fear that the league has that Jalen Williams is coming back to the Thunder, should be the same thing for Jason Tatum. Look, I get it. He's not playing at his best clip. He's got time. There are still, I believe, 11 regular season games left. He is actively working through it. He is actively getting there. And come playoff time, and come when the knob gets turned up and the intensity gets turned up, I think that he's going to show up. When pressure is put on Jason Tatum, he has shown up for this team. He has been a clutch player. He has been a role model in the locker room. He has been a leader. He has been someone that you can count on. And I am not writing that off of Jason Tatum. I am not taking that away from him. And I will not stand here and just sit idly while people are talking shit about a guy who, again, tore his Achilles, which given 7, 8 years ago would have been a career-ending injury. Medicine has gotten a lot better and it's no longer a career-ending injury, but he's still on a timetable that is faster than most. And he is actively knocking the dust off. He is actively knocking the rust off, and he is getting up to the speed, the conditioning, everything like that. He's played in gyms and in practices and in scrimmages, and only recently was that happening. For the rest of it, it was rest and rehab. It was stretching. It was like, obviously, he's not where he's supposed to be, or not where his ceiling is. Obviously. It takes someone with 2 brain cells to figure that out. He is actively recovering while we are watching him. So, while Jason may struggle to give himself grace in the moments, god damn it, if you are a Boston fan, shut the fuck up and give him grace. Let him be the criticist. Let him criticize his game. We have no place to say anything. He will hold himself accountable. He always has. He always will. He is a through and through all-star, a through and through all-NBA player, a through and through superstar in this league, and god damn it, one of the faces of the league. And he will bounce back, and we're seeing that. And it's not even like, the problem is it's not even like he's scoring 5 points and it's like, oh yeah, you can clearly see he's lost it. He's playing very well. The Celtics have dropped, 2-3 games since he came back? We are a 2 seed in the East, and we are careening straight into the playoffs in what was supposed to be a down year. In a year where he wasn't supposed to come back, where we were supposed to be tanking to go get AJ Dabansta or Cameron Boozer. Everyone shut the fuck up. The sky is not falling. Chicken Little, look at me, right here. Me and you, one-on-one. The sky is not falling. We are going to be okay. And Tatum will smack his ceiling and smash through it like he always does. Just give it some time. Just hold your breath. And I promise you, it's not going to be a waste. And you're not gonna whatever. I don't want to hold my breath. You're going to be able to breathe again, is what I'm essentially saying. I don't know how to tie up that analogy and make it sound better. But again, if you want an articulate way or or like a really well thought out thought process on where I'm trying to make my point, check out Noah's article, because again, she does a fantastic job. Very articulate, very well written. I'm just a guy yelling at a microphone. But while all this is going on, let's talk about what the Celtics actually did this week. Like I said, we are still the 2 seed in the East. Yes, the Knicks are closing in on us, but that's because they're having a 6-game win streak and cooking right now. Detroit holding strong at the 1 seed. They're on a 4-game win streak, so, no Cade, no problem right now for them. And we played 3 games this week. We played against the Warriors, the Grizzlies, and the Timberwolves. Right? Yeah. Okay. Too many tabs open. We played against the Warriors, the Grizzlies, and the Timberwolves. We won 2 of them. We lost 1 of them. Oh, the Celtics can't play against Western Conference teams. I don't care. I really don't care what you have to say about the Boston Celtics. They are fine. They are doing fine. They are literally sitting at 47-24 in a year where we were supposed to be in the lottery. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, talking about the Celtics versus Golden State. First and foremost, a welcome home game for KP. Hey man, we miss you. Sorry we had to trade you. The cap sucks. The aprons suck. Adam Silver sucks. We miss you. We love you. Thank you for a ring. Thank you for all you did. Tribute was great. It was cool to see KP out there, catching up with some players. No Al Horford. Y'all know how I feel about Al Horford right now and his bag chasing and his decision to leave. Like I said, Celtics are 2nd in the East and the Warriors are 10th in the West. Was that the right choice, Al? I don't know. Anyway, Celtics win this game 120-99. It was basically a Celtics game for all 3 quarters. The first half of the first quarter was competitive. And then for the next 3.5 quarters, the Celtics had the lead, never lost it, never gave it up, never even thought about giving it up, never got close again. In this game, Jason Tatum, 24 points, 10 rebounds. Oh, wow, a double-double. That's crazy. 2 assists and a steal. And we had Jaylen Brown with 32 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. Derek White, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals and 1 block. Derek White getting stocks every single game, and I love to see it. Who else had a good performance? Peyton Pritchard with 19, 7 assists and a steal. Who else? Luka Garza, 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals. I don't even know Luka Garza had steals in his game. Shout out to Garzilla. We love to see him ball out. The Celtics made light work of a no Steph Curry, no Al Horford, no Jimmy Butler Golden State Warriors. KP had 11 points. I don't think anyone had more than 15 points on their team. No one had over 15 points on their team, which isn't winning basketball when you're playing against the Celtics. Moving over to team stats, the Celtics out-rebounded the Warriors 49-39. Celtics had 2 more turnovers. We had 16. They had 14. Shooting-wise, Celtics were on fire from the field, 48% to Golden State's 40%. And beyond the arc, the Celtics hit 36% of their shots, and the Golden State Warriors only hit 23%. It's also exciting to say that we beat the Warriors in this game because, fun fact, the Celtics did something they've never done before. They completed a season sweep of all 4 California teams for the first time in franchise history. 8-0 against California teams. Does that mean anything to anyone? Means a lot to me. Means a lot to me when I bang my chest and say fuck LA all the time. And by saying fuck LA, I'm going to extend it to the Bay Area and Sacktown. Not my kid, not my problem. East Coast, Beast Coast, baby. All right, enough of that. Next game the Celtics played was a roadie. They go into Memphis and play against the Grizzlies. Celtics win this game 117 to 112. Closer than we would have liked to see, but beggars can't be choosers. A win is a win at the end of the day. It's not about how you got them. It's about how many. So a win in the win column is all I want. Like I said, competitive game, 12 lead changes, was tight throughout the whole thing. Celtics end up pulling away latter half of the fourth quarter. And then right at the end, it kind of got close again. So uncomfortable, but whatever. Stats-wise, we had Jason Tatum with 13 points, 9 rebounds. Okay, not a great game. That happens. Whatever. Neemias Queta with 12 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist. Derek White, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. Again, Derek White getting stocks means W's in the W column. It's just simple math. That's how 1 plus 1 is 2. Derek White getting a steal and a block, W. Don't ask me. I don't make the rules. Jaylen Brown had 30 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Luka Garza went off with 22 points off the bench, 7 rebounds and an assist and a steal. Peyton Pritchard with 19 off the bench, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. No other star performers for the Celtics in this game. Moving over to the team stats. Celtics out-rebound the Grizzlies 57 to 35. Celtics have 4 more turnovers. We have 13. They have 9. Shooting-wise, they beat us from the field. We had 45. They had 47. And from beyond the arc, they were shooting better. They had 33%. We hit 26%. Doesn't matter if we lose the turnover battle, lose the shooting battle, lose the battle beyond the arc. We still beat the shit-ass Grizzlies. So a W is a W. We move on. We don't ask why or how. The W is a W. We're going to the next game. Unfortunately, the next game wasn't out. And this is where I think a lot of the Tatum discourse came from, because shout out to the Timberwolves. They held Jason Tatum to 0 points in the first half. That's the end of my applause. No one fucking cares. Like, Finchie didn't even know. Like, Finchie at the end of the game, when they were going through the press conference, he's like, I didn't even know we did that. Because it doesn't fucking matter. What matters at the end of the day is wins and losses. Not how you got there. Really, no one cares. But this was a interesting one because the Celtics looked pretty good out the gate, and then come halfway through the second quarter, it started getting tight and becoming a battle. And then in the third, the Celtics kind of battled back and seemed to have the win, the win in hand. And then come the fourth quarter, the Timberwolves came alive. And they took the lead away from us. And they never gave it back. And sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. At the end of the day, the player stats, Tatum ends up with 16 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Weird. So everyone wants to make a point about how bad Jason Tatum is because he didn't score any points in the first half and then he doubles. Go fuck yourself, haters. Like, seriously, sit and spin. Like, y'all get me so fucking twisted. Can't even lie. Derek White, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals. Like I said, it's steal and a block equals a W. Unfortunately, didn't get a block in this game, so the math falls apart and I don't know how it works. Jaylen Brown, 29 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. And then Peyton Pritchard, 10 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, 1 steal. And that's really the highlights of the Celtics scoring and stats. So we move on to the team stats. The Celtics were out-rebounded 56 to 53. The Timberwolves did have more turnovers. They had 14, we had 11. Shooting-wise, bad night for the fellas. Just a bad shooting night for the Celtics. From the field, we hit 36%. They hit 43%. From beyond the arc, we hit 27%. They hit 36%. And it goes like that sometimes. And sometimes that's just how it goes. If shots aren't falling, you're going to lose games. Nothing you can do about it. You dust yourself off, and you go on to the next one. Which, for the Celtics, we got a nice gap here. We played the Timberwolves on Sunday, and we don't play again until tomorrow. For our audio listeners today, have fun with that one. And guess who we're playing against? The reestablished Jalen Williams Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, if you remember the last time we played OKC, we got reffed, and they won by 2 because of SGA free throws. And I wasn't a fan of that. And I'm hoping the refs don't get involved in this game. I'm hoping that we can just watch a good basketball game, because a lot of the other, the last game we played against OKC was a good basketball game. But right at the end, Tweety Bird pulls out their whistle and gives it away to SGA. And I'm not one of those people who play into the narrative that SGA gets, way too many whistles. But when you beat my team because of a whistle, their arguments start sounding real fucking good. No, I'm excited. It'll be an interesting game. Win or lose, I'm excited to just watch the Celtics compete and hold their own. As long as they hold their own, I don't care if it's a win or a loss. Like I said, I don't even care if we lose seeding. As long as we're 1 through 6 in the seeds and we're not in the play-in, who cares? Would be nice to be the 1 seed. Doesn't have to happen. Could be nice if we stay the 2 seed. Doesn't have to happen. After OKC on Wednesday, we play Atlanta at home on Friday, Charlotte in Charlotte on Sunday, and then Atlanta in Atlanta on Monday. So the next 4 games are against a really, 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 really good team in OKC, a decent team. I mean, Kuminga and the Hawks somehow just works. So I'm not worried about the Hawks. I think we've had their number for a long time. We might drop one because that's usually how that kind of shit goes. Like, we'll lose a random game to the Hawks. We'll lose a random game to the Magic. That's just written in the Celtics DNA. Also, I predicted a sweep last week and wasn't correct. So no prediction this week. Guess what? I get to choose if I do predictions or not. We'll win some games. We'll lose some games. Woo, who cares? Love to be irritating. Love to be a problem. But it is what it is. So I know I ranted. I know I raved. I know I yelled a little bit. Told some people to fuck off and sit and spin. You know what? That's just how it goes sometimes on cross-court coverage. Sometimes I get on my soapbox. I got a microphone in front of me. There's no one around to tell me I'm wrong. Unless you're in the chat, then you can just tell me you're wrong. And then, well, I guess I'll end up arguing with the troll in the chat. But that hasn't happened yet. So that is the Celtics updates for this week. That is news and headlines from around the league. That is everything for the show this week. And the only thing left to do is sign this son of a bitch off. So, as always and forever and always, I am Marty the Meatman. You are the wonderful, amazing, and I am oh so grateful for you, listeners and viewers. Together, we are cross-court coverage. The Celtics are sitting currently at second in the East, 47-24 with 11 games left in the season. Just straight railroading towards the playoffs. The regular season does not matter. We are not clinched yet for the playoffs, but our tickets, the guy who comes around with the hole puncher, he's squeezing. Like, it's not punched yet, but he's ready. Like, the click is about to happen. We're going to be locked into the playoffs by the end of this week. There's nothing to worry about. Jason Tatum's going to excel and exceed all of the haters' expectations. Jaylen Brown has been holding it down all season and has been thriving as option 1. So what are we worried about, even if Tatum doesn't come back as option 1? I don't know. But if you're like me and you have full faith in this team and you're not worried about the whispers in the wind or how the media is handling us as always, because they love to just beat the shit out of us and tear us down every chance that they get. If you're like me and you're acting like a duck, you're letting water roll off your feathers, And there's one thing and one thing only to say to all of the haters, and that is go Celtics or go fuck yourself. Peace.